is my kind of crowd, all engineers. Welcome to the unveiling of the 2011-2012 VEX Robotic Competition game. Are you guys excited to see the game? All right, before we get started, before you get to see the game, we need to meet the group of dedicated people who came up with this diabolical challenge. All right, first off, from CMU Robotics Academy, Tim Freeze. CTO of Intelitech, Dan Rolachelle. Representing WDAB Technologies, Mike Sukup. Director of Communications for the REC Foundation, Rick Folia. Of Innovation First International Canada, Kartik Kanagasabapaldi. Obviously a rock star. Okay, President of VEX Robotics Incorporated, Paul Copoli. President of the REC Foundation, Jason Morella. President of the REC Foundation, I just did that one. Founders of Innovation First International, Tony Norman and Bob Mimlich. Director of Product Development for VEX Robotics Incorporated, John Vinoon. But last but not least, your very own former VEX Robotics competition participant and now VEX intern, Mr. Parker Francis. So you know on Mythbusters we're all about problem solving, which is the core of engineering. This game is pretty exciting. You have all sorts of really interesting problems and challenges that you're going to have to deal with. Are you guys ready to see the game? I'm sorry, are you guys ready to see the game? John, Parker, I think they're ready. I'm excited, I'd like to see it. Let's bring it. Next year's VEX Robotics Competition Engineering Game.
Before we unveil the game, we've got one problem we want to talk to you about. It's a very simple problem that we had to solve. You guys are getting too good at this. We're having trouble. You guys are doing things with the VEX Robotics Design System that we could never believe possible. So we've really had to step it up this year and add some additional challenges. We're having trouble keeping our game so that the advanced teams and the inexperienced teams can still have a good experience. That said, I think we've got a great game ready to go, and it's something you're really going to enjoy. So let's pull back the gate here. Count it down with me. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I give you VEX Gateway. So, I talked about how sometimes it's a little tough to keep everyone happy. 2 years ago, we had the divided play of VEX Clean Sweep. This year, we have the direct interaction of VEX Roundup. In the 2011-20 game, 2011-2012 game, VEX Gateway, we got a little bit of both. On this side of the field, in the interaction zone, we'll have one red robot and one blue robot. On this side of the field, we'll have one blue robot on this side in this isolation zone, and one robot on that side in that isolation zone.
But that doesn't mean they're isolated the entire game.
Wow, this is cool. So, how do you play?
How do you play indeed? Let's take a look at this year's game animation to learn more about the rules.
Wait, all these engineers and you guys can't figure out how to get the sound up here? Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Introducing the 2011-2012 VEX Robotics Competition, Gateway. Gateway is played on a 12-foot by 12-foot field on the floor or on a raised platform and is divided up into 3 zones, the interaction zone and the red and blue isolation zones, which are separated by red and blue gates. There are 9 balls and 13 barrels for each alliance, for a total of 44 game objects with 8 of each color off the field available for preloading and batch loading. 2 of these objects can be preloaded on each robot before the match. Any unused preloads can be loaded on robots in the interaction zone during match play. These objects are scored in 4 floor goals and 9 circular goals. Gates can be raised at any time during the match, including autonomous, but must be raised before the last 30 seconds of a match, and must remain raised for the duration of the match. Each robot must start in an 18 by 18 by 18 inch volume, but can expand to any size after the start of the match. The game begins with a 20-second autonomous period, where robots score without help from the driver's transmitter. In Gateway, it is legal to reposition your robot during autonomous, but only if it is touching its colored tile. There is no need to count the score after autonomous this year, so the 2-minute driver-operated period follows immediately after autonomous. The autonomous bonus comes from being the first object in a goal. Scoring is easy. Barrels and balls are both worth 1 point when scored in any goal. The first object in each goal earns a 1-point bonus. A white doubler barrel will double the points of all objects in a goal, and the black negation barrel cancels the score of all objects in a goal. The score of this goal looks like this. And the final score for this match is 14 for blue and 15 for red. The Red Alliance wins. For more information on the VEX Robotics Competition, see the official game rules at robotevents.com or vexrobotics.com. Also be sure to visit the VEX forums for all the latest updates.
Is that amazing or what?
Just so you know, we put a lot of work on the game, but when you guys groaned at the negation barrel, it made it all worth it. So obviously there's a lot of changes this year. I don't think we've ever had a game object quite like this one before.
Well, there's also something else, John. Did you guys notice this goal? That's 30 inches high. We've never had a goal that tall in the high school challenge before.
So there isn't any autonomous bonus this year, but it's really important to start scoring early, so we think teams are going to do a lot of scoring, or else they're just going to fall behind. So one thing that didn't change this year, it is still okay to not plug in your battery at the start of the match. That's not a rule. We're not going to make you plug in your battery, although we found the robots do run quite better if you do. Something that did change this year, if you forget to plug in your battery, you're allowed to reach in and do so. If something's broken, you're allowed to reach in and fix it. If you forget to turn your robot on, you're allowed to do it. No more dead robots this year.
So, Kari, what do you think about this year's new game?
Well, I think it's plausible that this is going to be challenging, but confirmed that everyone here is going to be extraordinarily excited because it is awesome.
One thing is for sure, we're definitely going to have some fun playing this game. But before we get to play Vex Gateway, we need to find out who the world champion is for Vex Roundup. So I hope everybody goes home, gets a good night's sleep, and comes back tomorrow ready to play.